But hey, Brian, at least the Wednesday night ratings are holding up.
Oh, yeah. The Wednesday night ratings for AEW Dynamite this past week, September 3rd, 2025, on TBS, 8 to 10:06 p.m., on average, watched by 472,000 viewers, a .11 in the key demo, lowest cable audience and key demo audience for a regularly airing episode of Dynamite in the history of the show.
Okay, was there a run through of the Super Bowl on another channel? Was there a
No.
major sporting event, a live broadcast of goddamn beheading? Somebody said that Uncle Dave said, well, the U.S. Open tennis tournament was big, but it still should have been that big. Do you think any of these people are watching tennis?
Dave makes a lot of excuses for Tony Khan not being capable of booking this. And then he jumps on any success and pretends like it disproves everything else, ignoring everything in front of his face that everyone sees.
So we have no indication that there was a major program that would appeal to the AEW audience past the U.S. Open tennis tournament that was against this thing. We need to find out whether this was just something that happened, and next week maybe they'll be back up to 600,000, or whether this is the start of another trend. But it ain't good this close after a major pay-per-view where all of their entire top babyface side of the roster got wiped out and sent to the goddamn health facilities.
Now, again, it is important to note, I don't have them in front of me, but NXT's numbers have been down the last several weeks, apparently. And you just talked on the show about being chosen to be a Nielsen home. If you were just chosen, you got to think other people were just chosen.
You think they're switching the people around?
I mean, we joke around. Could this be as simple as there are less wrestling fans who are Nielsen homes right now than there were 2 weeks ago?
Well, but no, because think about this. Hold on here 1 second. They don't just change the homes every goddamn 5 years. It's a regular ongoing thing. So there's almost no way that suddenly they could make enough changes to take away 25% of this goddamn audience of this show that has a 5-year track record behind it of a pattern of a certain amount of viewership, and they don't all go away and stay away. It fluctuates, but they lose people over a gradual period of time. So I don't think one change is going to take away 200,000 fucking people. But, again, we'll see what happens week to week. But no, there's something else going on here. I think people are just fucking tired. They're like, what else are they going to do?
Well, listen to this. This is down 19% from last week, which was 585. 26% off the 4-week average, which is 638. So again, this is not just like a 1-week blip. This is coming off last week seemingly being the 1-week blip. And we've taken another hit down, a big hit down.
They have further blippage to go. But where did they start? Because again, the last few weeks that they've been down, it's been more of a steady audience throughout, where they don't start big and then lose a ton. They start smaller and keep more of them, but it's still fewer in the long run. So what did they do this week? Did they start high and plummet, or did they just never have them to begin with?
Well, we go to quarter one. These were compiled by WrestleNomics. Dynamite on September 3rd, 2025. Quarter one, 8 to 8:15 p.m. The Gabe Kidd, Darby Allin, Death Riders Ops Live angle, and the start of Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor. 521,000 viewers.
Ouch. Okay, they started low and stayed there. That's the lowest open in the history of the show, isn't it?
I think so. I think it has to, for a non-preempted episode, as they say, maybe. Quarter two, 8:15, 8:30 p.m. The continuation of Moné versus Windsor, picture-in-picture, and the post-match with Riho. 506,000 viewers.
So they lost 15,000, and they ought to be consider themselves blessed at that because after you see Riho, you got to go. Did they go?
Well, we go to quarter three, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. The Ops promo, an ad break, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony promo, and the Mark Briscoe Callis family live angle. 487,000 viewers.
Yeah, Riho got them to go.
We go to quarter four, 8:45 to 9 p.m. Mark Briscoe versus Lance Archer with picture-in-picture, Tony Storm's promo, an ad break, and the Harley Cameron Chris Statlander promo. 483,000 viewers.
Well, at least probably Mark Briscoe was able to hold them steady. They thought, well, we won't go anywhere as long as he's around. But they've gone from 521 to 483. They've lost 38,000. That's not a big number, but when you start with 500,000, it's not helping.
Well, it's now time for the big 9 o'clock hour, quarter 5, 9 to 9:15 p.m. Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta versus Bro Dito with picture-in-picture. 475,000 viewers.
They're hanging in there. They got their fingernails dug in on the edge of the cliff, and they're not going to let go.
We go to quarter 6, 9:15 to 9:30 p.m. Kazuchika Okada's promo, an ad break, the Hurt Syndicate's promo, and the Cope FTR Christian live angle, as well as a Garcia Moxley video, and an ad break. 440,000 viewers.
Well, it looks like one of the fingernails just broke off.
We go now to quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. The Young Bucks, Josh Alexander and Kyle Fletcher versus Adam Page, Jet Speed, and Kenny Omega with picture-in-picture. 440,000 viewers.
The exact same number. So apparently everybody was just full after a big meal and didn't want to make any moves.
Well, we go now to quarter 8. I remind you, a 6-minute overrun. Quarter 8, 9:45 to 10 p.m. Continuation of the 8-man tag match with picture-in-picture. 441,000 viewers. 6-minute overrun.
They actually eked out an extra 1,000 people. Go ahead.
6-minute overrun, 422,000 viewers for the post-match.
So, in a way, that's not bad. 521 to 422, that's 99,000 people. If you look at it in a positive fashion, that's the smallest number of viewers that they have ever lost over the course of a television show. It's also the smallest number they've ever started with, and potentially the smallest number they've ever ended with on a regularly scheduled program. Ooh.
This is not looking good. WWE keeps running against them. They just changed the time of their pay-per-view in Toronto because they know they're going to get crushed. I mean, they're putting, what, AJ Lee in a match, Brock Lesnar in a match.
Cena.
I mean, it's a big show. AEW has no star power. And then you see this thing.
And the AEW has moved their pay-per-view start time to 3 in the afternoon, but already Uncle Dave, who, as we know, is the mouth organ for Tony Khan's brain, is already said, oh, yeah, I'm sure they'll run long, so they run into, like they're going to do damage to the WWE show with this dog and pony outfit that they've got right now. They're going to run long to try to make people not want to buy the WWE show. WWE is Brock Lesnar and John Cena. They've got a mixed tag with Punk and AJ Lee and Rollins and Becky. They've got all the promotion and this giant audience watching. They're just going to run this pay-per-view 6 hours for no reason to keep 22 people their attention that aren't going to switch over to watch WWE. Everybody that's going to watch WWE is going to watch WWE first. First and foremost, I mean, not just because it comes on second.
And by the way, same thing the other way. Like AEW have their fans that don't give a fuck about the WWE show. They're upset the show was moved because they don't care about WWE. They just want to see their show. But everything right
What
now
about
is,
how many of these people you think were driving in that day from like out of town and now they're like, what the fuck? We got to leave at 6 in the morning? Ay, ay, ay. Well, there you go, pal.
it's not looking
Another
good.
case of there you are.
It's not looking good. Right now, Tony Khan needs to be doing better than he has, and he's doing worse than he has, and not good.
You know, we always said we were going to be up and cheerful and bright and happy and peppy and bursting with love. And he brings us down. He brings us down. I feel so low.